Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Dishing with Diamonds. And I have the distinct pleasure of bringing you all Wendy Larson to Dishing with Diamonds. She's all the way in Minnesota. She is a health guru, a homeschooling mama, and precious as she can be. Just in the few minutes I've spent chatting with her prior to hitting record, she has a peace and a wisdom about her, and I know that this time spent with her is going to be amazing. But before I officially turn it over and have her say something, I just want to remind everybody that what we discuss here is our personal experience. We're not making health claims. We are not making any financial guarantees. This is all based on our personal experience and how, our journeys, our work ethic, and what we've put into it. And this is not corporate sponsored, but we sure do hope that you enjoy the insight that Wendy brings us today. So Wendy, thank you so much for being here.
You're so welcome. I'm so honored. Thank you for asking me.
You are so welcome. Well, we are going to just dive into some of the questions that I know this team has become very familiar with, but they love hearing the different perspective from our different diamonds that we have. What I'd love for you to do is share with us what your life looked like before Plexus.
Well, this is what we were just talking about before we hit record. And I think it's really interesting that even God impressioned this very particular story. But you guys, my story before Plexus was really dire. It was sad. I had spent 8 years in research on looking for ways to feel better. I had been battling an 8-year illness that was chronically depressing our home life, our situation, our marriage, me as a mom. It's hard not to talk about without getting emotional because it was hard. I mean, physically, emotionally, spiritually, I was not in a healthy place. And Plexus came at the time when I was enrolled in school to become certified in natural health, because I personally believe that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that God designed our bodies to be healthy and well, and that they can restore themselves. And through prayer and petition, I enrolled myself back into school, and it was right in the middle of school that somebody, I think that will come up next, introduced me to Plexus. And honestly, it didn't look like a demographic that was going to fit for me. Like it looked like it was geared toward people who wanted to lose weight, and that is fine. I'm totally okay with that. But I was sick. I didn't need to lose weight. I needed to feel better. But the 3 things that we were learning in school, we were talking about blood sugar, we were talking about gut health, and we were talking about inflammation. And guess what, you guys? Those are the 3 major components that Plexus deals with. And when I dove in and started looking at the ingredients, they were everything that was in my book studies. And so I got on board because I loved the ingredients and I trusted the person who told me about them. And I was so ready for a change. And I had a pretty tremendous health testimony. And the best part of it is that I was not looking for a business, but you know what? We were poor. My husband worked 3 jobs so that I could be a stay-at-home homeschooling mama of our 3 children. We were on WIC, and God provided all the time. I do not know how we had money in the checkbook, but He provided all the time. We never went without food. We never went without clothing. We never went without a bill unpaid. We had a lot of medical debt. And if this was something that I could do from home, because that was my position, is to be in the home with our family, then I was at least willing to give it a try. And I knew what I stood for. I knew what these products did. And the rest is history. I mean, I exploded out of the gates, and I have never looked back since. And 24 months later, hit diamond. So there's my story.
That's awesome. And I guess maybe we should tell everyone, go grab your tissues and
sorry.
No, here's the thing though. I love the honesty and the candor, and I feel like that's where we connect, is through the stories. We can talk all day long facts. We can talk all day long ingredients. But when we hear the life-changing testimonies, I feel like that's where the connection is made. And that's where the validation of what we do becomes that much more real. So please, I was just saying, I need to find some tissues for myself. I hope, what I found when I post these recordings, Wendy, is that YouTube does the worst freeze frames.
Yes, they do.
Right? So I'm like, I can only imagine they're going to do our ugly cry face.
Sure they will. Yep.
So anyways, okay, so tell me, how did you get introduced to Plexus?
My good friend and sponsor, Kristen Aber, is the one who told me about Plexus. And she knew that my husband battled with a, how do I say this? With a autoimmune disorder that he had for 28 years. And she had a good friend who had seen significant results on Plexus and shared that with me. Kristen also counseled me through some of my autoimmune disorders for several years prior to Plexus. She showed me a lot of the things that she was doing to help with her health, what her naturopath suggested. So her and I became pretty good acquaintances, you could say, via online, just because of our health testimonies kind of ran pretty similar. So when she told me about Plexus, I got on board with her because I trusted her. She already counseled me. And it did align with where I was at that time in the search for Plexus. So
that's excellent. Now, were y'all, so you said that y'all first had an online relationship?
We did.
Okay, cool. So y'all
never met. We never met until our very first convention in Dallas. Otherwise, we were just like friends on Facebook. We were in the same health groups. Don't you love social media?
Well, it's incredible how it really does connect us and make our social influence that much broader, who we've been able to stay in touch with because of social media. So, I totally get it. So we've kind of touched on this a little bit through the two questions prior, but walk us through your journey. So, Kristen reached out to you. You trusted her because obviously you had been in some other groups together. She, like you said, you counseled you. And so then you jump on board, and we heard it took about 24 months to hit Diamond. But what did those 2 years look like? Kind of walk us maybe through a snapshot of your business journey.
Okay. Well, like I said, when I figured out, you guys want to know something really cool? Today is the anniversary of the first time Kristen and I ever spoke on the phone. And I tell you, I dreaded that phone call. But you know what? When they talk about getting your people on the phone and doing three-way calls, or at least connecting with your sponsor, this was it. This was hugely powerful for me. Number one, I did not like being on the phone. Social media was a safe screen for me. Mm-hmm. It was very easy to hide behind. It was very easy for me to paint a picture of my life on social media. But when she reached out to me and she says, hey, I want to go over the back office with you, and I want to talk to you. How does such and such date sound at such and such time? I'm like, I knew this was coming. But you know what? We got on the phone. I loved her immediately. She was very easy to talk to. She answered a lot of questions that I had about the products, about what my results were already looking like. And my first 2 months on the products were horrid. I had the worst detox. I knew what it was. I'm okay with that. I was educated in that. I knew that I had to go through that in order to come out on the other side. And I wrote a letter to Kristen and told her, I don't think this is working for me, but I'm going to give it one more month. And praise the Lord that I did, because I came out on that other side with a really huge health testimony, like huge. So when I hear people saying they're not willing to go through it, I feel sad for them, because they could have an amazing journey. So she got me on the phone, and you know what? We talked about the back office, and she said to me, Wendy, you could be Diamond. You could be Diamond if you wanted to be. And I decided right then and there that I was going to go for Fast Start Gold. And I had already been a wholesale ambassador for 2 weeks. So I had 2 weeks to go Fast Start Gold.
Wow.
I didn't make it, but you guys, you know what? I tried, and I got 17 new ambassadors in 2 weeks' time.
Wow.
And I want to say that to all of you out there, just mention it to your people, because you don't ever know if you run into somebody who's super ambitious and a goal setter like myself, if you don't ever mention it. She didn't know that was going to be me. We were just talking like old friends on the phone, and she had no idea that goals motivated me. She had no clue, but she mentioned it. I got 17 new ambassadors. I ranked every single month until I hit Senior Ruby, and then hit a pause at Senior Ruby for quite a long time, which was great because it taught me about leadership and how to lead a team and not to run too far ahead of them. Mm. Then I hit Emerald, then Sapphire, then Diamond. So it's been a beautiful journey, and I have learned so much about myself and how to nurture and connect with other people. I love this journey. I love what network marketing has brought to my family, helps me better understand my children and my marriage.
It is an opportunity to connect with personalities and people, and learn to connect maybe where before you wouldn't connect, right?
Right.
There wasn't a reason, or because we do so much reading and self-development, we realize that there's way more to people and how to connect and what makes them tick, right?
Right.
Perfect. Okay, so we've talked through your journey, and you shared with us there was a pause in your business, and so and I feel like that's maybe where some people are right now. Some people are in a pattern of growth, but when I think a lot of times it's easy to stay motivated when you're in momentum, correct?
Yes. Right.
It may not be as easy to stay motivated when you back off that momentum a bit. So my question for you is, and I'm really looking at, I don't know where you are in your journey now, but during that pause time, how did you stay motivated, and how do you currently stay motivated?
I love this question because prior to Plexus, before I started my schooling, I had actually had a huge desire to become a midwife or a doula. I have a huge passion for natural childbirth. I had a hospital birth with my firstborn. My secondborn was born in the truck, and you guys may have seen that in our Diamond documentary, because we have footage of that on my Diamond documentary. So if you haven't seen it, go watch me having a baby in a truck. And the third one, our third child, was born at home in a pool in the front of in our living room. So what this journey has taught me a lot is it's very comparable to child labor. And if we choose to have an epidural, that's okay. It just numbs the pain, and it can make your birth experience a lot longer. It can result in possible complications or an unplanned C-section. Anytime you stick a needle in your back, there's always risk, okay? When you decide to take the epidural out and experience the pain, that is when you learn to navigate. That is when you learn to concentrate, to learn more about yourself, to breathe, to put blinders on, and remember the end goal, and that is to hold that baby in your arms. So when you compare, and all of us as women can compare our birthing journeys to where we are in this business, are we going to choose to have the epidural and not experience the pain? Or are we going to learn to know what it feels like? See, pain is not to punish us. Pain is to help us succeed. And my birth journeys without an epidural were about 10 hours shorter. So,
wow.
When you take it out, your journey could be a lot quicker because you're willing to navigate through difficult times. You have to learn to work with pain. Those are your hard times, you guys. And they're there to help you succeed, not to punish you. And we all have it in our journey. And that motivation that you're looking for, it's always there. You have to tap into it and remember why you started, and not let that vision go ever. Blinders on, experience pain, and go for it. It'll be a lot faster to get to your goal.
Love that. Blinders on, experience pain. That needs to be like a quote. Get to your goal. Oh, hold that baby. So do you have a go-to motivational phrase that inspires you?
I kind of do. It's been my life motto is that today isn't where you're meant to be. Like, you can be better than you are today by looking forward to your tomorrows. And so many people just live in the moment, and that's okay. We can live in our moments. But if we don't look forward to our tomorrows and realize that we can be better tomorrow than we even are today, people forget how to dream. Sometimes they don't feel worthy to dream. Sometimes they don't even feel worthy to make a goal because their goals may not come true or their dreams may not come true. And I like to inspire and encourage people to know that there's excellence beyond today. Your excellence can be tomorrow if you're willing.
And I think that's beautiful, because I think a lot of times, in Plexus, we have this ultimate goal, many of us do, of becoming a diamond ambassador. But that phrase could easily apply today, that you don't stop growing just because you hit your major goal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's something that, I hold true to my heart, because that's where I am in life, is improving upon. Yes, I hit that big goal, but there are many goals beyond that big goal.
Oh, for sure. So true.
Talk to us about maybe 3 of your top business tips for Plexus.
Number 1 is try to tap into your self-motivation. You have to be self-motivated to succeed, I feel. And that is, getting up, starting your day, getting it rolling, doing your IPA right off the bat, being a schedule setter. And some people are really afraid of schedules. They don't like parameters. They don't like to live in boxes. But I have to tell you, schedules are freedom. There's so much freedom in scheduling. You guys, I have to school my children every single day. If I didn't have a schedule, our life would be chaotic. So, and the third thing is truly set goals. And if you don't make a goal, move your goal out. Don't ever lose sight of what it is. That just means the date changed, not the end result. And so your goal is your roadmap to where you're going. And you can't navigate through this life without a map. You can't get anywhere without your GPS system. So your goals are your GPS to where you're going. And if you don't have something to aim for, you're going to be blindly shooting arrows and never hitting what you're trying to get to. That bullseye it's going to be constantly moving around and you're going to miss it every time. So do please set goals and do not be afraid of them. Do not be afraid of failure. There's no such thing as failure. The craziest thing is I'm one of these mamas who don't test my children. I don't want my children to ever think that they are either a pass or fail type of a person. We continue learning something until we succeed at it. There's no such thing as failure. They don't get A's or B's or C's or D's or F's. We only get success. And you only get success by continuing trying until you've achieved or mastered it. So
I know that that's something that you've implemented for your children, but I can't help but think that you've also implemented it for your adult life as well. That you are not necessarily, your reward is your rank, correct? But you're not defined by your rank.
Absolutely.
When we're pulling this back to Plexus, you can be, in my opinion, more successful as a gold ambassador than as a senior Ruby ambassador, based on your focus, your willingness to make goals, and your willingness to be certain about your success. I feel like on most of these calls that I have, we talk about belief on some level, that you must have that, correct?
Right.
But we've taken it a step further on this Team Wendy by saying it's not enough just to have belief. You have to have certainty that you will, hit that goal, hold that baby, be, and to have those successes, you have to have success in your your minute by minute, your hour by hour, your day to day before you can have it in that long-term goal.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right. It's your baby steps. It's your whole process. Sometimes people want to skip processes because they don't want to experience the pain or the handcuffs that they're limited in at that moment. Your handcuffs are your excuses. So I don't know. Look for that key to release the handcuffs, because that key also holds your success.
There you go. Your handcuffs are your excuses. I like it. So let's talk about your organization. How many, I think a lot of times people get super jazzy off of numbers, and I'm not the most accurate number person. I'm not super detailed, but do you offhand know how many level ones you have that are working the business today?
You know what? I know that you were going to ask that,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't actually go and look it up because it was kind of twofold. Number one, I believe that whether you have 20 level ones or 100 level ones, your success is, a lot of it is defined by who you get on board to do this with you. What is your magnetism like? How are you encouraging them? How do they want to be a part of your journey with you? Some of them maybe really want it, but they're still, again, not willing to take out the epidural. I think that linking arms with people and showing them that they can be a part of this process, no matter how fast or slow that they want to go, is a huge reason why we're successful. And not everybody is willing to link arms, but they still want to be a part of the community. And those are going to be your happy wholesalers. And I want you guys to embrace and love them too, because they are probably just really lonely. We live in a social media society, and I think we're also probably the loneliest society right now because of the connections that we've lost through, actually being face to face with other people. And a lot of these people that come on board love what you represent, love what you're doing, and they just want to be a part of it. So they don't have to run with you, but they still might want to be a part of it. So I would have to say maybe 50% have ran with me and 50% just want to be a part of our community and our culture.
That's great. And I completely connect and resonate with what you said. And it doesn't matter if you personally sponsored 100 people, because you could personally have sponsored 100 people who don't really want the business. And so that what I share with this group is that you may find those people right off the bat, and good for you. And I think Melissa Eichenhorst did a video on her number 70 something or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so you just never know when that person's coming. Some people, like I said, get fortunate right off the bat, and maybe they get those people that want to run with them within the first few months of building their business, and they get that initial momentum. But what I love about what we do is that momentum can come at any time. I hear more stories of people who did not get that momentum until later on versus those that got it right up in the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
That's that story much more relatable, right?
I agree.
So, okay, so we, the aspiration we hope is to be diamond, and with that comes so many blessings. And we know, the friendships and the time freedoms and the financial freedoms. And so I would love for you just to share maybe one or two things that you've been able to do, with since becoming a diamond, some of those, financial freedoms that they've provided you, whether that's something fun or something practical or something benevolent. Share your heart on that.
Okay. I really love this question, you guys, because this is the part that we can share that it humbles us. Okay. Now, in the beginning of our interview, we talked about that my husband worked 3 jobs so that I could be a stay-at-home mama. Well, my husband doesn't work 3 jobs anymore. He works 1. And he's gone by 6 in the morning and he's home by 2 in the afternoon, which means that I have a father that's present for my children now. I have a husband who goes out and he makes ice rinks for our kids so we can have the youth group over and we can have a bunch of children over and they can play and be outside, and he takes them on sled rides with the 4-wheeler. these are memories that my children will take with them for the rest of their life. Even if they don't remember anything about plexus, they will remember the presence of their father. And that is a lot for somebody to say whose children didn't see their dad because he worked so hard. Okay. The other thing is this past year, a year ago on Christmas Day, my husband lost his vision in his right eye due to the complications of his autoimmune disorder. And he had to have 4 eye surgeries this year to hopefully regain what little vision he had left in that eye. And I'll tell you something, that would have been a financial impossibility for us had it not been for plexus. We have no medical debt. We've been able to pay all of the co-pays, everything that goes with the surgery. We have nothing. And I have a husband who's here with his kids, and he has one good eye. And I'm like, I'm so grateful. We want to just keep things in perspective. It's simple, but it's huge. It's huge to us.
Mm-hmm.
And what if this happened to us 3 years ago? I don't know where we would be. He was our main provider, and I would have to go out and get a job that I'm probably not even qualified for. So, yeah.
I think that, I love your answer to that question because, I think a lot of times we get caught up in what sometimes feels like to others as a lottery, right? But it's really, honestly, it's the experience that we've had in our family as well. It's the simple things, it's being able to go to the grocery store and not put whatever we want in our cart, because literally I still feel like I'm super frugal on the end.
Yes.
But we don't worry for those things, or, we're able to have some freedoms, like Sadie's getting to be, I say a preteen, she's only 11, but they grow up so quickly and they're into fashion and things like that, and she likes to have her hair done, so we can go get that done every now and then, and just little things that maybe. And Wendy, when I started this journey, I was a single mom, and so the reality was, my picture looked that there was a possibility that I would have to go to work, and I had been a stay-at-home mom her whole life, and I didn't want to give up that freedom for Sadie, but also for myself, to be able to be there and be mama, because that was a role that I know God had intended for me to be, my whole life. And I didn't want to lose out on those experiences, much less for Sadie not to have mom around. And, and so for us to be able to have I tell people all the time, to have been able to maintain the lifestyle that she was already accustomed to.
Yeah.
Has been a blessing for us. Have we been able to do extravagant, crazy things? No. But I've been able to maintain what she already had. Mm-hmm. And that's been a blessing, especially for all the changes she had to go through.
I love it. And that's security. There's security in that, with the maintaining that. And I feel the same thing too. Like, I feel like my children have more security having my husband around. He's a really, really great dad. I felt sad that he couldn't do that, but that was our decision, and we felt the impressions on us from the Lord that he would work, he would be our provider, and he was a very good provider. But he's also a really great dad, and now he gets to fit that role, and he does it very well. And I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for this opportunity that he can do that with our children.
I can't agree with you more. That our legacy, a lot of times we use that word legacy as a heavy word, a word that's, definitely beyond our four walls, but it starts within our four walls. And like you said, to be able to give your children the memory of having their dad around, that's huge. Mm-hmm. To the security to know that, the normal day-to-day concerns have been alleviated. And
Right.
so those are the blessings that I pray upon those of you that are shooting for big goals in Plexus, is that you have those freedoms. All the other fun ones that come with it, that's just a bonus. But to have these simple freedoms in life that really, when I talk to other diamonds, that's really what it all boils back down to, are the freedoms and the security that this opportunity, that God has brought us, for sure. So one very last question for you. We are on the heels. We are definitely on the heels of Super Saturday now. What city are you going to?
I'm going to Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Excellent. Okay, so are you excited?
I'm so excited. You guys, I have a visa and I'm leaving the country.
Exciting.
This is a simple country girl. I get to do something really big. I'm excited about this.
So fantastic. Well, I told you I'm headed to sunny California, Sacramento,
Yes.
which I'm excited about. Last year I was in Denver, so I got the ice and the cold and the snow, and this Texas girl, we get snaps of cold, but we don't do real cold. So
you don't get cold like you can drive on water like we can.
Yeah, we're not skilled in that way. So talk to our team here about why Super Saturday. What for those that have never been, what could they expect and why should they be there?
Oh my goodness. Super Saturday is a launching pad for your business, basically, for 2017. It is going to reignite passion and inspiration and encouragement with what you're doing with this business. It erases what happened in 2016. It could be the key to the handcuffs that you're ready to get rid of. We are going to have some amazing tools in place. I cannot wait to share with you guys that is going to blow your mind about how to do this well and to do it better. And, that's what I think. This is what Super Saturday is. It is a great opportunity to launch your business and to start doing it well. These are tools for you to be successful. And our company and our trainers have worked really, really hard to put together something for you to be successful. Are you willing to do the work? Because we're going to give you everything that you need. Are you willing to do it? And so I really want you to be there. I want you to bring people to the opportunity meeting the night before and show them what we have with Plexus, show them the community, show them your friends, introduce them, and have an amazing time because you are going to be so excited about what's to come.
Thank you so much for mentioning the opportunity meeting. I think they're so important, and it's really where we grow our business is bringing new people. The training, absolutely. Saturday's for you. But the challenge is Friday, bring a friend, bring 2 friends, bring 10 friends, bring somebody, because I feel like where we miss the mark sometimes as ambassadors is we just come to the Friday night opportunity meeting, and if you don't bring a guest, you're missing the mark, in my opinion.
I agree. It's not a social outlet, you guys. I mean, it can be that, but why wouldn't you bring your friends to this amazing social outlet and show them what you have and show them what you're doing? I feel like our opportunity meetings never present pressure upon people, ever, ever, ever. In fact, I don't know an opportunity meeting that hasn't left somebody super excited to get on board with the Plexus opportunity. So, seriously grab a friend, grab a relative, and just say, will you just do this for me? Just come for me. Because you would be surprised how many people will do something for you if you just ask.
Absolutely, for sure. And, showing up and not missing that opportunity, I think it is huge for sure. So thank you so much for mentioning that. I feel like that's y'all's challenge is to bring somebody on Friday, for sure.
Yep, there you go.
Wendy, thank you so much for being here and sharing your heart with this awesome team and your wisdom and your calmness. I love your perspective and just your heart and your true heart of gratitude in this. And that's a a perspective that I think sometimes, not intentionally, but can be lost. Is, you said it earlier of, and sometimes people leave and, have they lost sight of why they were here in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times I've seen people come to this amazing journey, have some measure of success, and then somehow get super focused on, well, I'm quitting this because I didn't rank to senior gold fast enough, or I didn't get to Ruby. I'm not Ruby yet. I should be Ruby by now. And, to bring it full circle, the question is have you taken out that epidural? Are your handcuffs your excuses? And, again, I'm just so grateful for the words of wisdom that you've imparted upon this amazing group. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Happy New Year. Good luck in Sacramento.
Thank you. And good luck to you. It's Canada, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, enjoy that. I've never been to Canada. So I'm going to need a full report from you on your favorites and, what you loved about it. Do you get to travel in a little bit earlier?
I do.
Okay, good. Well, then hopefully that will give you a chance to maybe do a little bit of exploring before we get to work, right?
Right. Exactly.
Excellent. Well, again, Wendy, thank you so very much. Happy New Year to you, and thank you for sharing your time with us.
You're very welcome. God bless.
God bless you.